welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a scrapbooking video. Life has been hectic. Anyway, this past weekend I had a scrappy weekend. I got my 2016 Project Life album done. But what I did realise is that I have a huge abundance of Citrus Twist kits that have all been kept together. I have another one which I have a part layout done, which is the reason it's not in with this stack, and I have 4 that I still need to unbox for you guys. So I thought, this is getting a bit crazy, I need to start doing something with these kits. I found I was flipping between kits this weekend. I was opening baggies here, there and everywhere. So I've taken the decision that all of these that haven't yet been unboxed are getting broken down. So I've pulled out some little tubs. So these are the little IKEA tubs from the kitchen section. I have one that already has all my little cork and wooden embellishments from the little grab bags I got from Citrus Twist. I've got one that has got some die cuts from being broken down from other Citrus Twist kits, and then I have a plain one. So this is my thought. So we'll pull one out and I'll go through what I'm thinking while we're at it. So I'm going to pull together all the sheets that are full sheets of paper. They're going to go together, as are the alphabets, and they will go into my alphabet stash, because I may find that I'll pull out my alphabet stash a bit more if whenever I need an alphabet, I'll just rummage through all of them, not necessarily just Citrus Twist. So the stamps, they're going to go into my stamp storage, and for the stickers I am going to keep them as sticker sheets, and I think I might use my Craft Stash challenge wall to put these on to get these used up. So that's my thoughts with sort of those bits. For anywhere I have these little bits of cork, they're going to go in my little bit of cork and wood. I'll get to the die cuts in a minute. Then for all the bits that I sort of have, these bits that are, you know, will not quite make a card, there's strips left over, I think I'm just going to say they're going to go. I'm going to keep the cards together, and then any pieces that are paper but will make a 3x4 or a 4x6 card, I'm going to keep together. So we'll find some of these kits have got things a little bit more all over the place. So that's not a full card, but these are. That's been cut apart. Oop. And we've got some there. So I may have to split these up into 4x6 and 3x4, just because I'm going to have a few more. So they're all 4x6 pieces of paper, and they're all 3x4 pieces of paper, and they're the scraps. So I think they're going to go, and then these will go into my Project Life card stash for just Citrus Twist. And then I'm going to split up the die cuts. Now my battery is about to die on my camera, so we will switch that out before I show you what I'm going to do in regards to the die cuts and or the cutter parts. Okay, I'm back. I ended up, all of my batteries needed charging, so I went and did some housework while my battery is charged. So the brew's drunk. But yeah, this is what I'm planning on doing in relation to my die cuts. So anything with wording or lettering is just going to go in this tub, even these bits that I've cut out and not used. However, I'm going to use the other tub for labels. So you do get, I know there's definitely some kits with a lot of labels in, and all the blank ones, rather than, I was tempted to split up the ones with the little wording, and I might still do that, but at the moment I only have 3 of these sort of ready for action. I do have another one that I could probably clear out, so I may end up popping all these little word things. Now what I'm also going to do, if I spot them, is the likes of this one, which I'm not sure if you can even see. Let me try and see if it will focus that way. See if it'll focus on that bit. There we go. So that says my favourite people, which is a nice phrase. However, I'm British, so I want it to say favourite people spelt the British way, and it's not. So I'm actually going to get rid of that while I'm sorting through, because then it won't be the perfect saying for the perfect place and me not be able to use it or not want to use it. I know it doesn't bother some people, however, the wrong spelling is something that I'm not keen on. So this is probably the part that is going to take the longest in regards to breaking down these kits. Not with all kits, but it is definitely with some. I think I've already cut apart the cut aparts for this kit, because I'm not seeing a separate sheet, and I think I've found the odd one or two that I've already cut apart myself. So, but what I will do is any that are actual cut aparts is I will make sure to cut those apart as well. So that is my Citrus Twist kit for November. So I'm going to get rid of the sticky tape that I used to stick that down. I'm going to get rid of the back sheets. So I've got my spare wallet, and then I'm going to get rid of my sticky label, and then I've got these for reusing. I do use these for scrapbooking projects. I do also use these when I'm going to a crop or something like that, or one of my scrapping weekends at my niece's, and I'll use it to put in some of these to keep them together. For now, I do have plans for a few of them, but that will be with my diamond painting, so that will come up on a diamond painting video. But for now, that's what I'm going to do with them. So I'm going to pull out this one, and then I may or may not fast forward these. I also have some sheets of stickers that seem to have exploded. I'm going to keep my little glassine bags. I might find somewhere to put those. So this sheet of stickers seems to have exploded a little bit like these word stickers. I'll pop them in there. And then we'll have the same sort of thing. So we'll have the papers that are full sheets. Oh, there's a cut apart. So in these, they happen to be 6 by 6. We've got a sheet of stickers, and then look, just absolute chaos in all of these kit packets. We've got alphabets. We'll put that in with the papers. I even think I've ended up pulling some of these from the wrong place. But yeah, I'm going to go through, and any that are the actual physical cards that we got from Citrus Twist, I will put them there. The 4 by 6 I'll also keep hold of if I find I've got any, but at the moment it just seems to be in papers in these two kits that I've gone into. We'll pop those stickers in there because they're not going to stay put together. I'm going to cut apart these cut aparts, and I'm going to pop them in the relevant tubs, and then I'm going to do the same as I've just done with these die cuts, and I'm going to work through all of these kits that I have sat here, and then I will keep my fresh unboxing kits together just for a short period of time until I decide either it's getting a little bit too bitty and I can't work out which ones I want, or I end up with too many again. So that's sort of my thoughts for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on and get all of these done. I may or may not do all of the cutting apart now, because it can get quite tedious. That may have to be a sit down and do job. But yeah, I'm going to get these split up. I might just get to the point where I pile all the die cuts up for now, and we'll see what sort of stuff we've got and get them away in the relevant sections. So I'll pop you on fast forward for a bit while I just do a bit of unpacking, and then I might just do the die cuts and I'll show you what sort of stash I have from some kits that have none of the extra little bits left, and some that seem, I mean this one, look, there's hardly any die cuts in that one at all. But then there's other ones that have a lot more left. And I'm sure some of the stamps from that last kit have ended up in the wrong bag as well. So I'll pop you on fast forward and I'll see you all in a bit once I've got some of this done. So that's them basically debagged. So I'm going to have a sort of little mini sort out before I get into the likes of the big hardcore stuff. So I've got, these are all my cutter parts that will need cutting up and cutting out, ready for going in these little pots. Then I have my 4x6 cards from the kits. Now I've been able to tell which ones they are because they're double-sided. Same with 3x4. I actually have quite a lot of 3x4 kits. I have a bunch of empty bags, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is 10 kits that were, you know, I may have been able to get a few more layouts out of them, but they were getting to the point where I was struggling. So to clear up a little bit, I have these little tubs. Oh, I've got some letters from my weekend. So these little tubs that I use for my cards. So I'll see if these will fit because I've tried to limit myself. Oh yeah, they do. I've tried to limit myself to just these with my spare Project Life cards rather than having them taking over my tiny craft room. So at the front is all the Citrus Twist ones. I had bought a couple of extra packets of ones which are already in there, so they're gonna stay in there. And then I do have, when I get it from further back, I do also have the same thing. These are from IKEA. They do come with lids, but the cards are too big for the lids. And again, the front part of this for me is also Citrus Twist. I do have a few Me and My Big Ideas with some 3x4 cards in here, but that's where I'm going to store those. Now, in regards to the papers, I've not quite worked out, oh, my stamps are falling over. I've not quite worked out exactly where I'm going to store them yet, but for now they're not going to go in with my actual cards because the papers can be used for anything. So we'll pop away the cards with all the sticker sheets, of which a lot of them are puffy stickers. Oh, we've got a die cut floating about. A lot of them are puffy stickers. I'm going to pin these up, I think, onto my wall, which is my pegboard, and I'll move around which ones tend to be on display if I find that I can't get them all on the board. So those will get organised up there. My stamps will go into my stamp storage. Now I do need to create some more pockets, but to show you what I use, I have this flower pot from IKEA. If you've seen my new IKEA shelves for going in the Kallax, you'll have seen these because I have a couple of them on there. So I have my little die cuts, because I only actually have a small die cut machine. I have those in the front, along with some that are stamps and dies. So they're all there with some spare wallets. And then, see, I've already got one it's from Citrus Twist, but it's not got a home yet. And then what I do with the smaller ones is I just tend to put 2 into one packet. And what these are the CD wallets that I use for storing all my die cuts. However, I have just used a fuse tool, fused down the side, and then I've just popped a piece of card, and this is just your normal buy in bulk, fill a box for a £5 card. I've shoved those in there, and that's where I store all of my stamps. Even some that were too big, I've sort of just chopped them into two. I tend to find it works for me. I've got a few bigger ones here I need to sort out. These are Felicity Jane. I'm not sure if I want to chop them because they're slightly too tall, or whether to just have them sticking out a little bit. I'm not quite sure. These are just some cheap ones from AliExpress, so I'll probably chop those up. So all my stamps, I will need to create some more pockets, because then I find it's easier to see them and flip through, because you've not got them stacked and you can't actually see what they say until you move them out the way. But for now, I'm going to pop all my stamps just into my tub, because then that's a project that needs doing, but for now they're all together. So that's those. My alphabets are all going to go into my IKEA drawer. So I have these drawers. I have two of these drawers on a Kallax shelf. One of them holds my thickers, which all line up this way, all the way through. The other one holds all of my other smaller alphabets. And I had put this tub in because it would just hold my little alphabets quite easily. However, that's getting quite full. We'll have to see how we go. So we'll throw those in there. See if they'll fit back. Yeah, they fit back on the shelf. All my plastic wallets will just go away in my storage. And then the only thing I do need to find a home for, or somewhere to keep hold of, is my papers. So I have just split them up. I'll put them back together now, but I had split them up from my 6x6 to the 6x8, just to be easier to store. But I'll keep all those together. I'll work on those with Project Life, or maybe even with layouts. But they're all mixed manufacturers. I'll probably put them in with my 6x6 paper pads, as long as the 6x8 ones fit. And I'll do the same with my 4x6 and 3x4 papers. They're pre-cut for Project Life. I may just keep them with the papers, so I've got them. Now I do have some prep work to do. I have my die cuts to cut down, but I also, you may have seen, I've just pulled aside these pieces of paper. They're ones that are not quite cut down to 4x6 or 3x4. So I'm going to do those rather than have them floating about bitty. I do have a couple of sheets in here that may have had a couple of punches taken out of them, like that one has, but it's not that bitty that it starts catching on things, so I'm not as fussed about that. So I'll get those all prepped up, and then I'll get splitting up these die cuts. I'll put these little glassine bags in with my mixed media, just in case I need something that's got a little bit of a different texture. I've actually got quite a few now. I've got more than I thought I'd have. So we'll pop those, oh, maybe not all of them. Let's take out those two. Let's pop those inside there. Or maybe, actually, let's just rethink this. Let's just put them all in one of these, because it's not like I'm not going to have a lot left. So that'll just keep those together. And then all my little scrap bits of paper are going to go in the bin, and I'm going to get breaking down my die cuts. So what I'll do is I'll come back once I've done that, because it's going to be quite a tedious job. Okay, so that's all the die cuts unpacked, and this tub is chocker. I mean, oh look, they're popping out everywhere. Every citrus twist kit is chocker with die cuts, but this tub is even more so chocker. I'm going to try and turn it on its side just so that I can at least flip through and rummage through. Even labels, there is still a ton of labels. And then little bits, there was just a few added extras onto there. Now I do still have the die cuts to cut apart, or the cut apart sheets to cut apart. I did cut apart a couple, I'm just going to do this one while I'm here, while I'm chatting to you guys. But to actually sort of sit there and chop them all up, it's not exactly the most exciting thing in the world to do. And you know, there's what part of me that's like, do you know what, I'd probably see them better if I left them on the sheet. However, where would I then store them if I left them on the sheet, and would they actually really get used? So I am going to cut apart these cut aparts at some point. I don't need to keep hold of that Citrus Twist kit bit at the bottom, but if you're ever unsure, just as a little tip in relation to these die cut labels that I've just come across now, that have the little snippet out of them, out of the corner. So what I do is I cut them up around all the straight lines as though they are a rectangle label, and then what I use is my little Fiskars corner hole punch, and I will just bob out the little corner out of it. And it may not be exactly what was already there, however it does make the label still look like a little label, and it's definitely going to be straighter than I would ever do it with scissors. So if you have a bunch of these on your little cut apart sheet and you're unsure, just use a little single hole punch just to take the little corner out of it, and then at least you'll get a label that you're able to use. But hey, while I was talking to you, that's another sheet down. I'm sure if I keep up with things like that, I'll get the rest done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly show you the wall, or the place that my wall that I have stored on the Citrus Twist Kits stickers, so that they are there and ready to use. And also I will show you how I've ended up just storing the different papers, the 6x8 papers and the 6x4 papers that came out of the kit. So let's go for a ride. I'll turn you off because otherwise it gets a bit bumpy. Okay, so this is the wall that was my Craft Stash challenge wall, and in a way it still is. It's just moved onto Citrus Twist Kits. So there's all my empty bags because I'm still in the middle of this. I have doubled a couple of these up, so there are a couple pinned onto that one. There's a couple on that hook, and on these bigger ones there is a couple of different sheets as well, but I'll change them around if I start getting bored, or I will look through them, especially if I'm working on Project Life. So that is where I'm going to store all my Citrus Twist bits. I may or may not line my little tubs up in the front. This is the other tub that was sort of occupied with little bits from a die cutting project I did for work, but to be fair, I might actually just get rid of that and use it for Citrus Twist. And then if we go round my room, quick insight, there's all my little craft tools, there's my Mac, and then here's my sort of mini dumping ground. So at the moment I've got a diamond painting there that I'm about to sort the bits out for, but this wall is sort of where I normally house my Citrus Twist kits. So for example, that's one of the kits that I need to unbox, but they tend to sit on these little IKEA trays, and I used to have these 2 rows bursting with those 10 kits that I've just broken down, but instead I'm going to have I think the 4 that I have, yeah, I have 4 to unbox. How bad's that? 4 kits to unbox. I have one that I think I've done one layout with. I don't think I'm quite ready to break up yet. And then underneath is where I've just put all the papers. So I've got the 6x8 papers, 6x6, the cards that have been cut down into 4x6, and then the ones that have been cut down into 3x4. And then normally I did have these little tubs, pull them over. I did just have them stacked in there, and I had an empty one, which of course I've now just filled with these labels. So I'll have a rework a rejig over where I'm going to store them. I might be able to get another tray in there actually. Maybe I need to go to IKEA. That could be dangerous. But yeah, I reckon I could move that up one and get another tray in there to hold those. So that's going to become my Citrus Twist kit wall, along with the other one to get that stuff used up. So thanks for joining me while I break up these Citrus Twist kits. A little bit of a different video. Let me know if you like some of the different videos that I've been doing in regards to decisions I make in relation to scrapbooking, or how I decide to sort of break things up. And if so, I'll think of some more weird and wonderful ones to do. But thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.